Hi, I'm Dr. Pelto, and welcome to Healthy Living. I'm here with my special guest, Bonnie Lefrak from the Fitness Asylum. Bonnie, thank you for coming today.
Thanks, Don. Glad to be here.
So Bonnie, we're going to talk a little bit today because we're starting a new year, the month of January, and everyone is thinking about fitness, getting in shape, and probably losing weight.
I hope so. That makes me
For your
happy.
business, right?
That's great. I think, right. It's every January, everyone's thinking that.
So every January in my practice, I see people come in and they say, you know, I'm trying to get in weight, I'm trying to get in shape and trying to lose weight. And they come in with a number of foot problems, tendon problems, and other issues. And I tell them, and no one listens to me. And this is probably a similar thing. I say, you know, it's 80% nutrition
Right.
and 20% working out. I would start with the nutrition first and then with the working outs. What do you think about that?
That is exactly where we go. I get phone calls all the time. People are afraid to start working out because, right, they do have previous injuries or they haven't worked out in a long time. And the conversation I always come back to is, you know what? That's okay. Things like our body challenge or 30-day sprint or, you know, all these different transformation programs, they really are just about changing the way you're eating. And I say, sadly, I hate to tell you, but, and people I think know this, their success really lies in what they eat and what they don't eat. The working out is great.
Yeah.
Working out could lower your blood sugar. Working out can preserve lean muscle mass. Working out can certainly make you feel confident and empowered. I'd rather somebody definitely work on the food and then we can add the workouts later, or we can add them very slowly.
So Bonnie, tell me about your personal experience with working out, with eating, with fitness. How did you get interested in this area? How did you open up your own business called the Fitness Asylum?
I'll try to make it really condensed, right? So I started off in the early 90s in a very popular program. Most people will know it as Jazzercise.
Yeah.
So way back. And I have a great love for Jazzercise. I know people like to post those funny memes, you know, like here's Judy Shepard-Missett from 1980, and they want to laugh and make, I'm like, well, she's still working. She's probably a multimillionaire, billionaire. She really pioneered the group exercise and aerobic dance and the community that comes with it. And I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I met a lot of people. And I got interested in working out, obviously. What happened over time, because times change, I got interested in lifting weights.
Okay.
Oh, you know, mostly it was my mom sort of saying, you know, you can teach Jazzercise and teach 20 or 30 people. What about this personal training thing? What about doing one-on-one? And that's when personal training became popular towards the mid-90s, late 90s. And so I turned my attention to that, and I started to get into like a regular mainstream gym, and I saw great results from it. And so I felt like women really don't know the gym. They know maybe the light weights, right? You go to any type of class, anywhere. Here's your 5-pound dumbbells. And that's good. That's a great starting place. But I wasn't like I went to the gym and squatting 300 pounds.
Well, isn't that the concern? A lot of females. My wife was starting at the Fitness Asylum, and she said, you know, before she even started, she said, you know, Don, I don't want to get really huge and big. That if that happens to me, I'm just going to stop. And I told her, that's not just going to happen. That takes a lot of work to do that.
Correct.
Right?
And so there's so many stereotypes, and women even, you know. At least when I was going to school, we weren't really taught about lifting. The gym was really the place where the guys worked out. It wasn't, you know, for the girls. The girls did cheerleading or we ran around the track. And I really saw a great benefit and a big change from somebody who was working out hours and hours a week. Suddenly now I'm adding in 2 strength training sessions a week and I'm seeing big differences. And so when I transitioned to being more in the gym and working more on the weightlifting, that's also when I got interested in the nutrition.
Okay.
Some of it, I have to say, is probably linked to old school bodybuilding because you're kind of in that, you know, you're reading about that and you're starting to read about, you know, maybe making a shift from carbohydrates to proteins and all of these things. And, you know, it sort of fell into place. What I really wanted to do was, I felt like I discovered something that I had to share.
Okay.
I had to share, ladies, lifting weights is awesome, and it's the way to make a change in your body. You're not, you know, out running for 10 miles a day, getting nowhere, or doing something over and over and not getting results.
So this shift of understanding the importance of is it bodybuilding or is it weightlifting? What do you want to call that?
I'll call it weightlifting.
Okay,
I don't want to
weightlifting.
scare people.
Okay, so let's call it weightlifting.
Let's call it weightlifting.
You found out the importance of weightlifting for yourself first.
Yes.
And you saw the benefits.
Clearly.
And you thought, well, I just need to share this with other people.
That's what I wanted.
And how can you do that? Was it with personal training? Do you go and stand in a street corner and tell everyone?
Right. And that was before social media, right? So I couldn't go on Facebook and tell people my big discovery. I would tell people that I would see in the gym. I would tell, I was teaching jazzercise classes. I had friends. I worked in a large gym, and I was able to start doing personal training and start helping women, oh no, we're not going to go
to cardio all the time.
Yeah, we're not going to go, I'm not going to watch you stand on a treadmill. Like, I don't have to do that. Let's go do this and teach people how to squat, and then, how to slowly start to add more weight and work on their form and their confidence level, and you just start to see results. You grow it. So that's really, it started a long time ago. It had a lot of different, I hit a lot of different things along the way. I was interested in bodybuilding. I know the average woman, not that interested in bodybuilding, but the good news is even that industry has become more mainstream. And so people are more interested in bikini, right? That's a little bit more user-friendly. But the bottom line, what happened was with strength training or weightlifting, you can get people great results in not a lot of time. And I'd been training people for years, kettlebells in the gym, just basic bodybuilding type moves, even, I've taught spinning. I've done kind of it all. I've done it all. What I really wanted to do for people was make a quick, not easy, but quick workout where they didn't have to do a lot of thinking, right? We kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
Where someone could come in, there's an instructor, we're going to guide you through boot camp kind of thing. And boot camp is a widely used term, I realize. It's you moving station to station, generally doing full body or, multi-joint type of exercises. We're not looking to turn people into bodybuilders. We're looking for people to get the cardio, the strength, and even some stability or mobility sort of built into that workout. And I want people, especially women, but all people, we have a lot of men clients, male clients too, I want people to like the workout. I want people to have fun. I want people to be like, oh, I thought I hated working out, but I love it. And the best part is when I walk in, everybody knows who I am. And if they didn't see me for a week.
It's a community.
That's kind of what it is. And it really draws people in, and people feel comfortable and they feel happy to be there. And you shut the door behind them, and maybe it's snowing out, or maybe with a lot of traffic that day, or you don't like your boss or whatever. You're here now in this workout, and it's all for you, and you don't have to think about anything except just, breathe through it, have fun, and how accomplished you feel afterwards. So it's been a long journey to get to the Fitness Asylum.
Yeah.
For me. I had another business. I worked in many, many, many different gym settings. I didn't sit down like with a pad of paper or a whiteboard and say, oh, I'm going to create this business. It happened very organically. I just needed a place to train my clients. If you said this was the place, then I would have said, okay, move that camera, then we'll start working out right here. I didn't care what it was or what it looked like. I just knew I needed a place for people to come, and they have. And now we're going on to our 8th year.
Wonderful. So you've been eighth year with the Fitness Asylum.
Yes.
How many locations do you have?
We have 3 now. So
the biggest one, the newest one, is in Hudson, correct?
It is, yeah. And so that's sort of a newer territory for us. We had clients in Hudson and around there, but now, and Hudson's kind of cool and upcoming, has nice
growing.
It is. It's growing. It's a
there.
really nice place.
And so let's talk about what's the traditional, is this what we're talking about right now at the Fitness Asylum? Is this the traditional way of weight loss? Or is this kind of a new way? Or why do you think it's a better way than, what's everyone doing? All I can say is let's say my experience. I started to go to the gym, and I used to do the treadmill. I liked to swim. I never really had a weight problem. I liked it for the stress relief, but I never really saw many results. I used to go, let's say, every day for an hour after work, but I never really saw the results. My wife started going to the Fitness Asylum, and she said, you should try this. And what I liked the most about it is I showed up and someone told me what to do for an hour. And I went there and I started feeling better. I felt like I was looking better, and your confidence goes up, and it's just a nice feeling. And I thought to myself one day, I was thinking, this is something I feel like I could do the rest of my life. And that's all I really wanted to do, because I have 2 young kids and I'm busy with other things. I don't have time for other things. And I'm like, that hour, 3 days a week is enough.
Yeah.
Maybe later on you could do other things. But then once I started doing it, what I found is we wanted to work with the nutrition aspect of it.
Yeah.
And that's where it changed. I couldn't just do that and keep eating the same way, because I didn't feel good. It was like you're trying to power something and you didn't have the right nutrients. And I think, is that how it goes? Is it usually the workouts and then you change how you eat? That's how it happened to me.
And for me too. And it's interesting because then I have the phone call with people, and I do try to get them started on the nutrition first, because they're not ready for the workout. So I have people come in it from both ways. Your question is really interesting. So, and it's funny, I have this conversation a lot. I have it with clients, I have it with friends, I have it with colleagues. When it comes to nutrition, it's kind of like ask 10 experts or ask 10 people. Never mind experts. Ask any 10 people and get 10 answers. What I like to look at is the commonalities, right? So whether you're low carb, very low carb, paleo, Whole30, keto, clean eating, even to some extent, I'm sure, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, like, let's pick whatever it is. There are things that are very common across the board. One is, let us remove, reduce, or eliminate sugar.
Sugar and flour, right?
Pretty much your carbs. When I say sugar, I should be more specific. It includes flour too. So I just think anything, whether it's cookies or chips, are all kind of in the same boat. But if you can eliminate those things,
and I know people are probably listening to this right now and they're thinking, oh no, I can't eliminate sugar, I can't eliminate flour. Just thinking about it, you go through a withdrawal.
You do.
You go through it.
It's so interesting that you say that, because it is interesting. So it is.
And you've been helping people with this for a long time.
And
it's called you call it a challenge, right? That's what you take them on. Is it how many days? 30 days? 60 days? 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
12-week challenge.
I like 12 weeks.
Now, why the challenge? Why not say the rest of your life? Why? I like that idea of the challenge.
It's so many great questions. So, for example, if I said, Don, would you sign up for the rest of your life?
No way.
You're like, no.
I'll do it a day. Give me a day.
Correct. It's overwhelming. And it's so interesting. A lot of people, right, we still remember our excitement and when we first saw The Biggest Loser, right, those kinds of shows. They still exist. So people have that sort of there's a contest and there's, competition and teams and all of that. So it appeals to people in that way, make it a game.
Yep.
So it's a game.
And it has a start and an end date.
Start and an end. Okay, so here's the cool thing. Once people do get started, they do start over 12 weeks, because it's a long enough period of time and we're giving them information, education, they're seeing the results, but they start to realize, I'm enjoying it, I'm seeing changes, I see the benefits. If I want to keep my results, I'm probably going to keep doing this.
Yeah. And
really, we're not getting brand new people every 12 weeks. We get like 50% new and 50% stay, because they do understand lifestyle is not just 12 weeks of no sugar, no flour, or whatever changes you made.
Yeah.
Maintenance isn't a special island you arrive on and you get to stay there and then go back to doing all the things you wanted. So another thing besides the sugar and the flour, the common element amongst any plan that you pick would be consistency. And that takes practice. I tell people all the time, I said, you know what, you're not going to undo 40 years of, I'll fill in the blank, 40 years of crap.
Yeah.
40
habits.
40 years of bad habits, or just different habits, or different ways of being, and change it all in 12 weeks. Right? It's a process. And when people see the results and they meet other people and they don't feel so isolated and alone and confused, Because we're bombarded with information.
I think one of the keys you just addressed, which I know you're going to talk about, is the community.
Yeah.
You can't do it alone, Bonnie. How many times? I remember when I was a little kid, we had to run the mile, and so I decided. I think it was 2 days before I was going to start practicing running the mile. So I was in my basement running around the mile, doing that thing. And then as I was a younger kid, I was thinking, well, I was a little hefty on a husky side, and I was, I'm going to start a diet and just, stop eating Twinkies or something like that. So we all have these, I don't know, it's almost like you're taken over with a desire to change, but it's really hard to do it alone because you fall back into your habits so easily. And one of the habits is working out. But an even more difficult habit is how we eat.
That's always what gets people. So we'd all like to think we can outwork our diet.
Yeah, right. I work out 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day, so I can eat whatever I want.
I have clients like that. And again, it is sort of, a process of realizing, okay.
Some have a metabolic state that they're just skinny. They can eat whatever they want.
Yeah, we don't like those people.
Yeah,
no, I'm
not
kidding.
that.
Because you have kids and you'll start to see, and I've seen it in my children where I really do, I'm interested. I'm like, well, to some extent there's a genetic component. Let's face it. We do all have a skinny friend.
Yep.
I have like a skinny child who eats more than anybody, and it's amazing. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Check out how small this person is, and they consume everything. So that's real. And there are things that happen to people, who knows over the course of somebody's life, the different ways things, slow down. Maybe, people, they're skinny until they're 35 or 40 or 50. And then, because
it's going to hit a point where
something changes. Aging, of course, your sort of the best hormonal profile you'll get is probably at age 25 when, everything is going in your favor. After 25, things start to change. And if you're not working out, you're not strength training, you're not really paying attention, you're going to start to see a slow decline.
Yeah.
And
if you keep eating like you were 25 when you're 40 or 50.
That's when people start to go, wow, I've had a weight creep. And it could be very slow and insidious, but it happens. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, fat loss is a hormonal event.
So weight loss, fat loss,
fat
hormonal.
loss. I like to say fat loss because I don't want to be too obsessed with the scale. Because I think people get thrown off by the scale. And thrown off in a lot of ways. You get, we've all maybe played the scale game where if I got on the scale and I liked what it said,
I could eat whatever I want.
I have some wiggle room. Hooray! I can do this or that. So I try to warn people. I'm like, you know what? The scale kind of fluctuates. Don't get too wrapped up in it, but let's think about fat loss, and fat loss shows up in different ways: how your clothes fit, right? How you feel. You go to boot camp class enough to notice, like, oh, wow, I can really go a little bit faster. I can get that extra pull-up or that extra push-up. I can go a little bit heavier on the weight. So, you maybe eventually get on the scale and go, the scale didn't change at all, but I'm wearing pants that are 2 sizes smaller. So, it's the community thing is really big, and what's really cool. When you go to class, on the regular basis, and you've seen it, people start clapping for other people.
Yep, they do.
Like, oh my God, you just did something you never did before, and you're like everybody's clapping. People are happy for you. They want your success, and they feed off of it, and people feel good there.
I think that's a good transition to maybe share some of these success stories that you've had with some of your clients and something that you're proud of about other people.
Yeah, that's the best part about the Fitness Asylum is I live I just love all of the success stories. You won't find really on our Facebook page like pictures of me working out, like, hey, look at me. Who cares about me? It's my clients. But I have a couple different pictures to show, but I have thousands and thousands and thousands of photos. And what's really cool, I have cumulative photos.
So if they've done multiple 12-week challenges and
correct.
Things like that.
We can sometimes we'll put together 4 photos where you can kind of see. Sometimes here's where they started 2 years ago, and here's where they're now.
Oh, amazing.
I have goosebumps talking about it. So, for example, I have Amanda Brown, who, in her weight loss, which is about 85 to 87 pounds right now.
Wow.
She looks like she lost 10 years, 15 years. Easily, just a completely different person. And what goes with that, of course, you can imagine, you're a physician, so you can already be like, Bonnie, I'm sure if she got her blood work and we compare that, you know, that's and people do. They'll go to their doctors and so I have the photos.
Yeah.
What I really like is when they get their
They go to
physical.
the doctor and they evaluate.
And the triglycerides are down, the cholesterol ratio is so much better, and their blood sugar is, you know, their A1C is great, and all of these health markers where you're like, I mean, I don't want to say, we're saving lives. I mean, we are, you know.
That's amazing.
It is, and the person feels really good about themselves. So I have all of these, you know, cumulative photos, and, you know, the ones I'm going to show you, of course, are the most dramatic ones. Alice Moriarty, 90 pounds, Paul Belkulfing, 100 pounds. Wow. These are about 2 years for each person.
It took 2 years to lose that amount of weight. Now, if someone that's watching this and they say, well, that seems impossible without surgery, or it seems impossible, how do these people do it? So what's this? There's no secret.
I know. It is interesting because I always go to my clients and I'm like,
why them and not the others?
Interesting, right? So it's consistency. It's also, you know, none of these people, and I say this all the time we do like a kickoff for our 12-week challenges. I'm like, look around you right now. The people sitting next to you are just like you. They're not smarter than you, better than you. They don't have more willpower than you. They don't have better genetics than you. All the same. So what's the difference, right? Is just being consistent, not trying to be perfect, because you know what I mean? Like, you don't really go 2 years without having pizza or cake or whatever.
Messing up. You can't make that a habit.
No.
Yeah.
I think, you know, it's interesting, like Paul, who's lost 100 pounds, he loves to go on cruises.
Okay.
And he loves to really live it up. And he's got the Facebook photos to show it. Like, I'm watching and I'm like, wow, Paul. So but you know what? It's planned. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm not going to care if I'm, you know, eating nachos on vacation. When I come back, I'm going to go back to eating, you know, my grilled chicken and my broccoli and all my stuff. And, you know, and it's not that he just does vacation once a year. We got easily 2 vacations.
Wonderful.
And we got, you know what?
So you're able to live.
Living your life. So that's the beauty of the cumulatives. It's not, you know, 2 years of like living, you know, some draconian lifestyle.
And then in terms of working out, are these people doing it 5-6 days a week? Are they doing it
3, 4?
Yeah.
Some less, some more.
I see it's not the amount of working out.
No, it's not. I do understand, like, once you start working out and it's fun and you like it, you do kind of want to do more. And I get it. It's like anything else. You're like, well, if a little bit's good, a lot of it's way better. And I always tell people, you know what? The body does a lot of great things in recovery, right? We don't want to be pushing ourselves too much and feeling, you know, like we're going to get injured or anything like that. 3 days a week is good. 4 days, or, you know, you can alternate. But I mean, one of the photos, I know would be of interest to you, just, you know, as a physician, and you have seen people who have issues with their feet or diabetic sores and things like that. I've had, and this isn't the first time, I've had somebody in 12 weeks win the entire challenge without working out. It's happened twice.
Really?
No workouts. Actually, Mark, whose photo I have, he worked out once, and he had some sores that did not like it, so he couldn't work out. And he lost about 40 pounds and looks like a totally different person.
Wow.
A couple years ago, it was a woman, and she had a knee issue. Couldn't even walk, couldn't even go for a walk in the neighborhood. She was doing nothing. All she did was make changes, basic, the no sugar, the no flour, eating more regularly, eating more vegetables, eating more quality protein. Nothing crazy. I'm not here, you know, with a special bag of special shake mix or special supplements or any other secrets.
Correct.
Other than sort of the real food aspect. And that's, I'm not saying it's easy, because if you're, you know, we're all in a hurry, we all are running out the door, grabbing whatever. I, you know, grab food off my kids' plates, things I would never eat. But when you're tired and hungry and in a hurry, you know, you change that. You change that. And so the people who've been successful, a lot of them, most of them they're not worker-outer people. They're just people who wanted and needed to make a change.
And I think a lot of times it's having the commitment. When you commit to something and you have the community.
100%. And it's interesting, the friendships, right? So people are rooting for you and they are following your transformation.
Yeah, well, that's very, very interesting. I know in our personal life, what's helped us the most with 2 young children, the 2 things that helped us, having our groceries delivered.
Yes.
And we do something called once a month meals. Are you familiar with that?
I have not heard about once a month meals.
It's a little website. You pay maybe $5 a month, and you print out food plans at 1 week or 1 month, and it has a master prep list, a master shopping list, and a master cooking list, and it puts everything together. So food prep for us is the most important thing, so we can choose the recipes. And I tell you, when you get home and you have food ready, we look at each other and we just smile. We say, we have food. When we look at each other and we don't have food, we're like, what are we going to do?
What are we going
to go out? And it just causes added stress. So food prep, I think, is the most important thing for having peace at home with kids.
Oh, it is. You're hungry, you walk into your house, open the fridge, and there's raw chicken.
Yeah.
That's like,
That's going to take a half hour to cook that and you're hungry.
It is. And so food prep, I've asked people, I've straight out said, what are the things that make you feel successful, right?
Having food.
That's it. That was the number one answer.
For me, it's having a clean house and having food prepped.
Having food prepped was the number one answer. Number 2 was scheduling and going to boot camps. And again, so I asked obviously people who were in my program. I didn't ask 10 strangers, at the grocery store what they thought was success. But because, and then we just really talk about not making elaborate meals. It's really, once the food is prepped, then it is just the art of plating.
Yeah, usually it's the protein that's prepped, right? You may prep the protein, you add it to a salad.
Exactly.
Or something. I have to confess, it is a little bit boring. It's a little bit boring because you're eating, it's usually salad and protein, and then you can maybe on the weekends we spice it up, but during the week, it's just living.
Right, so exactly. And so there's a quote out there. I've been quoted by my clients.
Yeah, what do they quote?
I won't use the whole quote because there was a word in the quote.
Okay.
But it was pretty much, every time you eat is not going to be a fiesta.
Yeah.
Right? It's fuel.
Yep,
and
fuel.
I've made the joke before. I'm like, you're not driving in your car going, oh, let's go to Shell gasoline. And your car says, oh, no, I'm so sick of Shell.
Yeah.
Could we please go to a different gas? No, it
just wants gas.
It's gas. And that's a shift. And you know what? Let's face it. It's a great shift to make, but it's also kind of like, I kind of at the end of the week look for, if you
try
use
something different. Yeah.
I want to sit home and just eat a pizza. And now if I'm not doing that anymore, what am I doing to unwind? What am I doing to connect with my friends or my family? I'm like, well, it's called talking to your family. And I get it because that's how we do connect.
With food.
Let's go out for drinks. Let's go out for, pizza or nachos or whatever. And so what if we don't do that? I mean, we could still go out.
Yeah.
How does that change things for you? So it's very interesting. But again, it is a little boring, but it's easy.
Yeah,
it's simple. And you are getting, you're not getting overly hungry because you have the food. You're not making bad choices.
Yep.
Because when you're hungry, then
can't make good choices.
You just can't.
So Bonnie, our time is kind of finishing up a little bit. It went by so fast. I think we covered most of the things we wanted to. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? And if not, just how can people kind of learn more about the Fitness Asylum and kind of try it out?
Please go to our website, of course.
What is it?
Fitness-asylum.com.
Okay, we'll put it on the screen.
Perfect. And my contact information there is too. So if you want to talk in depth, give me a call.
Well, thank you so much, Bonnie. It was a wonderful time chatting with you.
Same here.
And hope we'd have you back sometime.
Absolutely.